Life's full of blessings and of pain, full of losses and of gain, full of laughter and of tears, full of courage and of fear. It's full of joy and full of strife. It makes the lyrics of your life. Where is your song?
Hey everybody, it's Sam again from One Single
Where is
Choice.
your song?
Yes, I have been
Why don't you
MIA.
sing?
I feel like I'm kind of
Where
going
is
through an
he
identity
leaving? We
crisis right
let
now.
our
I'm trying
voices
to
ring.
figure out who I
Where
am
is your
outside
voice?
of my job.
Where
I know a
did
lot of
it
people,
go?
excuse me, I know a lot of people
Why
go
don't
through
you
this
let the music
where
fill your
you
soul?
struggle for a little bit trying to
Where is
figure
your
out who you are
song?
and what do I do next? I mean, I'm 58. I'll be 59 in November, and I feel younger than I feel younger than ever, you guys. Like I feel like I can do anything. But in the last month, I've decided, to go back to work. I'm going to try and find a job. So at least 220, 225 jobs that I've applied for. Now, I don't know if my resume, I mean, I'm not very good at putting together my resume. I know that. I can give you that much. But I have a resume and a cover letter that I think look pretty good. And so I've sent it out 200 plus. I'm being a little picky. I'm looking for a remote job. I just want to work from home. I want to be able to pick up and go and work from anywhere. And I know it's going to be difficult to find exactly what I want. So you have to sacrifice a few things. So I started out looking for a really good salary, something that's going to pay uh, what I feel like I'm worth. And that's pretty good money, I will say. But you know, I'm getting back is rejections. So I found this person on um TikTok, and she does a training, which I'm sorry. When I sit through training, because I am a corporate trainer, I have been, I'm going to say for most of my career, I was a corporate trainer because even when I was not in a role that had training attached to it, I still was a trainer because I was training people every day on customer service, on leadership. My final role at the company that I worked for was the chief of corporate learning. So that was my role. So when I sit through training, I have expectations, okay? And oh, this was awful. I'm sure that this person did the best she could with the training, but the training was about UGC, user generated content. If you don't know what that is, it's where brands will pay you for videos that you do using their products. And then they take those videos and they put them on their social media. So it's not something where I have to have so many followers in order to be profitable. You give the videos to them and you get paid, and that's it. So it sounds really amazing, right? It sounds pretty simple. So I had to put together a portfolio, and I did that. I have a few videos. I'm pretty proud of the portfolio, by the way. But anyway, I've just started that. That's after putting in for 225 plus jobs. I put in for this UGC deal, and I put together my portfolio. I got my professional Instagram put together, and this I start posting pictures on Instagram, and I'm immediately getting messages from businesses like, "Hey, do you want to collab? Do you want to collab?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." There are so many scams out there. Let me tell you, just today, I've been scammed by about 4 or 5 different brands wanting me to collaborate with them. Now, I understand what's behind it. So a lot of them will give you a discount if you buy their products, and then you'll get more of a discount and free stuff if you do videos with their product and promote it and get people to buy. Then you get like a commission or whatever. Well, that's not what I signed up for. So those four brands that, to me, it's a scam because, you get a discount, but you don't get free stuff. So anyway, I'm kind of all over the place because I'm all up in my feelings, and I have been for a little while, just trying to figure out what to do next. I didn't really think my identity was tied so much to my career, but it really is. Like, I'm running out of things to say. When I talk to people, it's like I don't have anything to say. There's nothing going on in my life. I'm watching court TV. I'm applying for jobs. I'm doing a few videos and content, a little bit of content on the side. And I get asked the questions, are you still doing the podcast? Well, I am still doing the podcast, but if I'm so bored, is my podcast going to be any good? And then I thought, well, I can start reviewing some other podcasts that I'm listening to and some documentaries I'm watching. So that's something I'm considering. I'm not really sure if my opinion is going to be worth so much. So today I thought I'd come on and just talk to you a little bit about being a little bit lost and where I found myself last night. So I had to go to a family gathering yesterday. Didn't have to, wanted to. It was my grandson's birthday party, and it was a lot of fun. But afterwards, I came home and I thought, okay, what do I do now? It's just me and my two cats. And then I remembered that the Oscars were on last night. You guys, I really enjoyed it. It was so fun. They have started, I don't know if you watched it or not, but they started earlier than normal, which I really like. I like the fact that they start an hour earlier because, they were always so pressed for time that people would get up there to make their acceptance speeches and they'd be run off the stage. And I always felt so bad for them because these people have worked really hard to get these awards. You don't think it's that big of a deal. Well, I don't know I can't really say. I've never received an Oscar before, but when you're up for an award and your name is called, that's a big deal. I know this from experience. I did receive a couple of acting awards, and when you're in this group of people and you get this award, mine was just for a play. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. Let's talk about the Oscars first. So anyway, they start an hour earlier, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the fashion. I enjoyed the excitement of it. Jimmy Kimmel was the MC, and he was really good. I really like him. And it was funny, and they brought in what they did for the like the best supporting actor, best supporting actress, best actor, best actress. They brought in some winners from years past, 5 winners, one for each of the nominees, and they're the ones who talked about them and announced their nomination. I just thought that was really clever. And you got to see people that you haven't seen in a long time, like Sally Field was there, Matthew McConaughey, people that are not always popping up, in TV and movies and stuff. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was a little disappointed that Lily Gladstone, I was disappointed that she didn't win, but I was really happy for Emma Stone, who won, because I just feel like she's so sweet, and it was very genuine, her speech. I thought it was really good. But I was sad for Killers of the Flower Moon. They didn't win anything. I mean, not that we saw last night. They were up for a lot. Oppenheimer won a lot of awards. I mean, I was glad for that because it was a really good movie. I did enjoy that. But I just kind of felt like that Killers of the Flower Moon should have gotten something. I feel like that movie was really important. It was an important movie. If you haven't watched that yet, it's worth the 3 hours. That was part of Jimmy Kimmel's jokes last night, was about how long the feature films are now. Anyway, it was pretty good. I mean, I'm sure you guys are seeing clips now of the Oscars all over the place. You know, the best dress, the worst dress, whatever. Billie Eilish won another Oscar, her and her brother. And I thought that was really good. I mean, I wasn't interested in Barbie, the movie Barbie at all, but the song that she wrote for Barbie was really good. And so she won that. Yeah, there was quite a few moments last night. You know, nothing like the smack heard around the world when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock in the face. I mean, that didn't happen. None of that stuff happened last night, but it was really a good show. Another movie that didn't get a whole lot of accolades was The Holdovers. I really enjoyed that movie. Now, one of the actresses did win best supporting actress, I think. I think her name was Davida or Davina. She is beautiful. Oh my God, it was such a nice win for her. I was really happy about that. But I think, they missed out on Paul Giamatti. I thought he did really good in that movie. But anyway, Oppenheimer, Killian, I can't remember his last name, but he won for Best Actor for Oppenheimer. And so Paul Giamatti did not win, but he should get an honorable mention because it was great. And I know they say, it's an honor to be nominated. And, maybe it is. But anyway, a lot happened. It was really good. I'm glad that I watched it. And it's one of those things, we used to do, my friends and I would get together and we'd do Oscar movies, where we would, or Oscar parties where we'd all get together and we'd dress up and we'd have champagne and we'd watch the Oscars. But it's one of those things where you kind of want to watch it by yourself. I mean, I just didn't want anybody to say, oh, I didn't see that movie. Oh, I don't like her. I don't want anybody else to tarnish the moment for me. So it was kind of good that I didn't have anybody here. But yeah, I used to do theater. I did theater for so many years. It was something that I really, really loved doing. And I was in a group. It was a theater group that was put on by MCSS, military. MCSS? Was it MCSS? It wasn't MCSS. MWR. Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. It's a branch of the military, or it's associated with the military. And MWR had a theater group, like community theater, that you could join. And I did that a lot when I was in Europe. And even before that at Fort Campbell, I did that a little bit. And I did a lot of acting. And I was nominated for a few awards in Europe for Best Actress and, whatever. But I did win a couple of times. We won for Best Ensemble Cast for Laundry and Bourbon. And I was really happy about that win because I had to speak with a Southern accent. And the judges thought that I had an accent. They even asked me, do you have an accent? I was like, no, I just play one on stage. It was really fun. Anyway, so when you're up for an award, it's very exciting. So that's what I'm saying last night. You just feel bad for the ones that don't win because in the back of their head, they've been accepting that award for weeks. As soon as they knew they were nominated, they're accepting the award in their head. And if they're not, they're crazy because last night, as they're winning and they're giving their speeches, in my head, I'm giving my award speech, right? So they have to have been doing that. So while I've been talking about that, I got 2 more brands that have asked me to collaborate with them. All you have to do is go to our website and order and use this discount code and send us videos. And I just don't, I'm just not willing to drop any money to get started in this. I've already gone through the training of the UGC training, so I feel like I've done enough. I'm going to wait now and see. I've sent my portfolio out to a few brands that I really want to work with, brands that I already know, because I feel like if I want to really convince somebody to try something, it has to be something that I use all the time. So I'm just going to wait and see if they get back to me. I've also started another list of brands that I've tried once or twice, and they're not my go-to, but I do still use them. So I've also started that. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, I don't know that it'll go anywhere, but I'm really I'm not desperate for anything yet. I have money. I'm doing fine. I just really need something that's going to keep me busy and keep my mind where it needs to be. And I know it's training. I know it's training. And that's why I feel like UGC is something that I really can do, because it's you're creating videos, but you're teaching people about products. And I feel like I could do that, and I could do it really well. So I'm going to do that. One of my very good friends said to me that I should become a publicist, and I would really like to do that. I don't feel like I live anywhere where there's a need for publicists, but also, again, UGC creation is kind of being a publicist. It's just freelancing. So I'm going to do that for a while. I'm going to try it anyway and see where it goes. I don't have much else to talk to you about. I did watch a few documentaries that I really, really think you guys should look into. One of them's called The Program. It's on Netflix, and it's if you've got teenagers, this might be one that you really should look into. I don't have teenagers, but I have a grandson that's well, I have two teenage grandsons. One that's 13, and that's why I keep forgetting he's a teenager, because he just turned 13 in December. And I have another teenager who will be 17 in October. And the program is about these schools where parents would send their unruly children. If they were getting into trouble, or, maybe going out and doing things they shouldn't do. It was kind of a place where parents felt like they could send their kids, and they would get them under control, and they would get their education, but they would come back fixed, where they didn't have attitude problems and that kind of thing. Oh, this is an exhausting documentary to watch. Now, it's not one of the best documentaries I've seen, cinematography wise and audio wise. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. The story, however, is tragic. Parents think they're sending their kids to a place where they can feel safe. Their kids are safe, they're safe, and it's really not. And this is heartbreaking, because it's not something that happened back in the 60s and 70s. This was in the 2000s, you guys. This was not too distant past. So it's really eye-opening. And so if you've got teenagers and you're considering this, I mean, you have to think about all of these things when you're considering a program for your kids. This is called The Program. It's on Netflix. It was just launched on the 1st of March, but it's disturbing, to say the least. You think you know what your kids are doing, where they're tucked away in this boarding school type situation, and it's really scary when you hear exactly what was going on. Now, I haven't finished it yet. It's kind of long, it comes in episodes. So I was able to end an episode and kind of take a break. I'm gonna watch another one of the episodes tonight. But yeah, it's really interesting. I've seen quite a few recently. I'm listening to a podcast right now on Spotify that I'm going to tell you guys about. I just heard about it from one of my TikTok friends. She's a doctor and she's listening to it. And so she kind of turned me on to it. It's called Bloodline. And oh my God, this is a really old true crime case. Not super old, but mid 80s, 86, 87 time frame. That was when my kids were born. They found these kids were in the woods and they kicked over this barrel, this old, rusty, heavy barrel. They kicked it over, and this is disgusting, but this milk-like substance came out and it kind of smelled like bleach, and they kicked it over and they just ran. Well, later on, somebody was hiking through the woods and they found bones near this barrel. So that'll tell you where this story is going. Now, this is quite long as well. So if you're planning a road trip or anything and you need something to listen to, this is a really good podcast to listen to called Bloodline. I'm still in season 1. There's 2 seasons, but this is really an interesting story because back in the 80s, the mid 80s, DNA was still something that was being heavily researched. It wasn't as good as it is right now, where you can just, kind of spit in a test tube and send it back to 23andMe. Back then, you couldn't do that. So this story is pretty intricate. It's pretty good. I did find myself daydreaming a little bit during it. So I did go back a little bit. I have a problem sometimes focusing when I'm driving, especially like I was listening to it the other night when I was driving home from my son's house after I had dropped them off from the birthday party. And I was so distracted because I like replay everything in my head from the day. And so I wasn't really focused on the podcasts, but it's really good. It's interesting. And so that's one that I'm listening to. I'm not done with that yet either, but it's really good. It's really good. It's like, the differences between the 80s and now, it's just unbelievable when you think back to where we were then. The communication was so different then than it is now, that you could see something weird and not say anything. Where now, if you see something weird, it's going to be on TikTok. You're going to see a video or on, Facebook Reels or whatever. So things are so different now than what they used to be. It's just unbelievable when you think about it. So take a listen to that. That's a pretty good podcast if you're into the true crime stuff. I really enjoyed it. There's another one, and this one's on Audible, and it's called Dear Anna. And this one's really kind of sad. Anna is a girl. They found all of her journals after she offed herself, and it's really sad. But it's kind of highlighting things that used to happen. Conversion therapy. Have you guys heard of conversion therapy? So this is if you were gay or lesbian and you were in that community and you were in the church or your family was really religious, they sent you to conversion therapy to heal you. Did you ever hear about that? So it's very controversial, but this podcast is about this girl, and she was very religious and she wanted to be a nun, but she was lesbian, and she's not allowed to. In the Catholic Church, you're not allowed to. So it's just about everything that she went through, and they talked to her family and her friends, and it's just a really sad story. So, be careful listening to that. I feel like it's really important that we look at where we were and where we are when it comes to rights and freedoms and the things that we fight for every day. I think it's really important that we learn about that. So take a listen to that, because it's not that long ago either, which is really sad that this kind of stuff is still happening, where, people are being discriminated against because of the way they believe. It's unfathomable to me. But anyway, that's really all I have. I just wanted to catch up with you guys and let you know that I'm still here. I'm struggling a little bit. I mean, I'm fine. Mentally, I'm fine. I'm just, trying to figure it out. I've got to walk this walk and walk this path and see where it takes me, but I'm fine. And I just wanted to check in with you and let you know that I'm fine. So, I'm going to play the music a little bit longer today just because I really enjoy it, and I need a pick-me-up. So there you go. So y'all take care of yourself, and until we meet again, be fierce, my friends.
Full of laughter and of tears, full of courage and of fear. It's full of joy and full of strife. It makes the lyrics of your life. Where is your song? Where is your song? Why don't you sing? There is healing when we let our voices ring. Where is your voice? Where did it go? Why don't you let the music heal your soul? Where is your song? You've had your share of ups and downs.